Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Ow! We're going on an adventure. It's gonna be so much fun. We're taking to the sky, just you and I.
Our smiles as bright as the sun.
Hey, heroes, rise up.
Rise up.
We can do it if we try. I believe in you and your feelings true. Hey, let your spirits fly. It's time for Cure of the What now?
Hiya!
It's so bright colors. Wow! We'll answer the call and be standing tall. Fun is our eternal vow. So gear up, get ready. I hope you're feeling fine, 'cause now it's hero time. Cure of the What now?
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's two dorky podcasters.
Hello, fellow heroes, and welcome back to Cure of the What Now, the one show where we are not dead.
Cure of the What Now? Yum. That was last season.
You thought we were dead, but we're not. We're back. We've risen. We're stronger than ever. And we've got a new member of our team.
Yeah, absolutely. Sort of. We at the King of the What Now household, we've got a new dog. He's a nice little border collie. His name is Whisper, and for the most part, he's a good boy. But he also wants to herd the cats.
I heard a rumor that border collies were smart, but we'll see. Yeah. In case you've forgotten after this long hiatus, my name is Kat, and I am going to protect the wee children of the preschool with my own two hands.
Fantastic. And I'm your co-host, Joel. I'm thinking, I'm a beautiful narcissist who hates picking on the weak, but will absolutely pick on the weak at the drop of a hat. That's like my favorite thing to do.
I love it. Terrible men. 10 out of 10.
Oh, man.
We haven't done this in a while. Usually, after we do introductions, we do a discussion question. So, do you have one? And if not, do you want to just, roll straight into everything we've missed?
Well, it's been a little while since we've done an episode, so instead of a discussion question, how about you just tell me, is there anything that you've been reading, watching, viewing that you've liked? The Kamen Rider movie came out in America, Spider-Verse has come out, there's been several books that you and I have read.
Okay, you know what? Let's talk about Shin Kamen Rider.
Okay.
You and I... We're sitting in a theater.
Futariwa.
Yeah, Futariwa, of course. We're sitting in a theater, and I see the Toei emblem come up, and I go, excuse me? And then I see, the scarf rippling or something, and I went, is that Kamen Rider? And then it was Kamen Rider, and so I screamed very loudly, it's Kamen Rider, and embarrassed my husband in the process, and he goes, did you not know this was coming? Did you not know there was a Kamen Rider movie in theaters? One of our Discord people has been talking about it for months, and I was like, I don't read Discord? No! So I was very excited.
Spoilers for the Shin Kamen Rider movie. We don't really talk about the ending, but we talk about things that happen all throughout the movie in a rather vague sense, so use the time codes below if you don't want to have spoilers for the Shin Kamen Rider movie.
And it turned out they took 2 seasons worth of OG Kamen Rider and squinched it into a movie. So now I would like to see those 2 seasons. What I wanted out of that movie was to see a dude in a suit do a Kamen Rider kick, and I got that. So I was very pleased.
Absolutely. Now, I think from a structural point of view, the movie is quite fast. There's a guy who is broken out of a top secret military organization. You know how superheroes go, but you just kind of have to take their word for it because we never actually see any time spent in that laboratory, and we don't even see the beginning of the escape attempt. The movie starts near the tail end of the escape attempt, and just what is going on here? But if you want to see some rider kicks, if you want to see some weird, future tech that doesn't make any sense, if you want to see a really beautiful Japanese man who represents God be killed by the justice of the common man, this movie is going to be what you want.
You know what I love, too, about this movie?
Okay.
And I guess this is more what I love about the OG Kamen Rider. So our pattern in modern-day Japanese superhero shows, pre-Cure Sentai Kamen Rider, is we've got these villains... and they're doing bad stuff. They're taking goos from humanity. Mm-hmm. But there's never really, an actual reason why. They just kind of do it. And I really like that the thing that was kind of the model for what we have now was, AI doesn't know what happiness is. So it came up with things like, if I give everyone on Earth a disease, then the people who survive will be happy.
Now... technically that wasn't the AI. The AI selected people and was like, I'm going to give you superpowers. What superpowers do you want? That's my understanding of it. And one of the guys went, I want to give everyone a disease. And was like, okay, that might be what happiness is. Go ahead.
Right? Or like, nobody will be unhappy if there's no such thing as free will. So I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. Spoilers for OG Kamen Rider, I guess.
Who was your favorite animal bad guy?
I really liked the wasp lady.
The wasp lady was really cool. I think I might have liked the scorpion if the scorpion had stuck around.
I'm a sucker for hive mind characters.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking about this when we were walking out of the movie. I would not want to be a body in a hive mind, but I would want to be the mind of the hive mind with the hundreds of thousands of bodies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you really like the Shin Kamen Rider movie. What am I feeling?
Minecraft?
Yeah, Minecraft 1.20 came out recently. That's pretty excited. I found a cherry blossom biome. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue even considering doing YouTube videos on Cotwin Side B that are like Let's Plays, like as I do it. Maybe what I could do is I could record footage of me playing, and then I could record like a voiceover and do like an essay and then show footage. But it's just really hard for me to like get my thoughts straight and not stumble over my words and actually be like, in today's episode, I'm going to do blah, 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 blah. But I have a plan to build a bunch of buildings using the new cherry wood, and that video will probably go up on Cotwin Side B.
Joel is not at all an insane person, and he has a completely normal Excel spreadsheet mapping out his nether portals that is actually very cool. I'm teasing a little bit, but like you look at that and you're like, wow, man's ingenuity is amazing.
So Catherine is saying that I am normal. I am not normal. But what I have, so if you've played Minecraft, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you've never played Minecraft, there's 3 different dimensions, and if you travel 10 feet, 10 blocks really, in the hell dimension, you actually, if you go back to the real world, you'll have traveled 80 blocks. So space is kind of scrunched. So what you can do is you can build a portal into this place. You can build what's called a highway, where you basically have a boat and some ice, because ice is the fastest thing that you can slide upon. And then you can go really far in that direction, and then you can build another portal into the overworld. And then when time gets unscrunched, space gets unscrunched, you'll be much further away. And because biomes are a certain size, you need to go a certain distance before you'll get to new areas. So I've created an Excel spreadsheet where I am keeping track of a 9x9 grid, and my village, the place that my base is in the very center, and I can branch out in all directions. And I've been slowly trying to fill that in, and now that the new update is out, what I did is I created a bunch of new portals to see if any of them happened to land near the cherry blossom biome, and I found it.
Yay!
So it's a really good game if you're the type of person who's into that. I also recently tried to get back into Breath of the Wild, and I think I'm going to release a video on Cotwin Side B about my personal feelings about it, because I know everyone loves it. I don't personally love it, but I'm glad that everyone else is enjoying it.
Yeah, don't DDoS our channel or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a computer person. Listen. If you love Breath of the Wild, that's cool. We're just filthy casuals, man. Don't even worry about our opinion.
Oh yeah, and I'm definitely gonna start several of my videos with just like, look, I'm just an asshole, basically.
I live in fear of the Zelda fans, Joel. They've been so mean to people online. So, anyway, moving on. It's
time for a succinct summary. So, we're going to kind of briefly talk about several of the episodes that have happened between our last episode and this episode, but the main episodes that we're going to be talking about are episode 18 of Soaring Sky Precure and episode 10 of Happiness Charge. I keep wanting to call it Delicious Party. That was last season. I was going to do a hilarious joke where I said, now, Catherine, how much other Precure have we watched outside of Soaring Sky? And I was hoping that you would say, none! But we actually watched an episode of Happiness Charge tonight, so that kind of ruined the groove. But we have not watched any more of the other one, Splash Star, and we've only seen one episode of Happiness Charge, but we've been keeping up on Soaring Sky, so.
Absolutely.
Previously on Cure of the What Now? Hiya! We had just been introduced to Kier Wing as the 3rd member of the team. He's a boy Precure, the first ever. He's also a bird who happens to be a boy, and a boy who can transform into a bird. There have been many episodes since then, including an episode where they tried to create delicious bread that Tsubasa remembers from his home world, from the Skyland. And this is a Mashiro-centered episode where she tries to get the flavor exactly right.
They discover the true flavor
is the friends
love.
you made along the way. Yeah. Cook your friends into meat pies. Yum, yum.
Thank you.
Then we got an episode that was Agaha and Tsubasa teaming up. It's really weird because Tsubasa to me feels like he's like 6 or 7, but like the show keeps pairing him up with the 18-year-old. So I can only imagine that there's going to be like one really weird fanfic at the end of the season.
They don't have exactly the contentious relationship I wanted where she bullied him and he whined about it, but they do have a relationship where she refers to him as boy or kid.
Or shonen in the original Japanese, right?
Yeah, AU has told us that it's like a kid thing, but I always hear it as a God of War boy.
Yes, absolutely. But this is an episode where Tsubasa and Ageha sort of team up, and Ageha teases Tsubasa, and Tsubasa is a little miffed about it, but then he realizes that there's some good in her and that she actually likes him, and that's why she kind of acts the way that she does. Then we get the final episode of Kabaton, where he says, I'm going to challenge you one-on-one, no items, final destination, Fox only.
Rip Kabaton. Kabaton is dead.
Kabaton is in fact dead. He's not, he's alive, and he seemed to have been redeemed at the end, which I think was fairly obvious from the way that Kabaton was and from the way that heroes are. But he hasn't shown up since. So I assume that the final episode, all of the previous undergoo people are going to show up.
We haven't had any time, like, in the city, but I just want to see him in the background having a regular job, because that's what he said he was going to do. Sora saved him from getting obliterated by evil lightning, and then he was like, I'm going to go get a real job, be a member of society, and took off.
Absolutely. The next episode was about buying Elle shoes, because it turns out that that's a thing that happens in Japan. It's like really important to give a baby their first pair of shoes when they start walking. Elle's growing up, and so that's what that episode is about. Then they go to Skyland, where we meet Shalala, the hero from Sora's background, and we might go into more details after the succinct summary, but basically we meet Shalala, and we meet this other girl who has red hair who's a rival to Sora, but then Sora and this other girl form a friendship that lasts forever. And then the new general shows up, poisons the king and queen like literally 5 minutes after they arrived in this town, and then they have to go back to Sky City or whatever it's called because it's not safe there anymore.
Yeah, they were like, yay, we can bring Elle home. Nope, never mind.
Absolutely. We got an episode that was the team putting on a puppet show for Elle. That was a rendition of what's it called?
Journey to the West?
That's not Journey to the West. Journey to the West is the one that Goku's based off of. It's Momotaro, that's the name of it. It's a retelling of Momotaro with Elle and the Precure as the various characters in that story.
I got confused because there was a monkey, a bird, and a dog.
Well, see, Journey of the West doesn't have those. The Journey of the West has the monkey, but it does not have a bird or a dog.
I have been misinformed.
Sure. Then we had an episode that was about Sora and Mashiro being on a baton pass relay team for a track event at school. And then we got episode 18, the main focus of today's episode, in which Agaha is Cure Butterfly.
What?
Who could have seen this coming?
An 18-year-old as a Precure? That's where I draw the line.
Absolutely.
Adults can't have positive feelings.
And she has her tummy out. That's a bad influence on the bird who's a boy who is also a bird. But very briefly, she starts like a sort of internship as a caretaker because she wants to be it's not a primary school teacher, is it?
Yeah, it's a preschool teacher.
Okay, preschool teacher, that's it. She meets a kid who really idolizes the Precure, and then Agaha's like, well, I'm going to be the best preschool teacher. And he's like, well, I think the Precure are better than you. The new evil general shows up. Some shenanigans happen. Ageha, in her civilian form, saves one of the kids, the same kid, Takaru, who was like, I think Precure are the best. But then it turns out that she can't beat the bad guy without being a Precure, and Agaha just wills it. She the secrets it from like Oprah or whatever.
She pulls the pen out of her chest and then is like, Elle! And Elle activates her.
Yeah, she's just like, I'll be a Precure, no problem. Snap, it's already happened. And then we get a pretty cool fight. Can't wait to see how they nerf her in the coming episodes, because that's always how it is with new Precure characters. And then at the end of the episode, she comes to live with Mashiro on a long-term basis. So literally all 4 Kiers are living in the same house.
Also
I think
never
that's
happened.
unprecedented,
Yeah,
yes.
I love it so much.
That does it for Soaring Sky, but very briefly in Happiness Charge. So last episode, we had Cure Honey show up, she sang a song, and saved the day. This episode, she's not Megumi. She's...
Yu?
No, Yeah, she is Megumi, right? The pink-haired one.
Yeah,
okay.
Megumi.
Megumi and Hime. I got Megumi mixed up with the class president from...
Oh,
that other season,
Madoka. That's not her name at all. Mana.
Mana. Jeez Louise. Can you tell we're a little stiff and out of practice, folks? I apologize. But they're kind of trying to figure out who Cure Honey is. They're obsessed with the song, or at least Megumi is. Hime doesn't like the song, but secretly she does. I'm a little confused on that. The bad guy shows up and she's like, bring out Cure Honey, and then Cure Honey says, okay. She shows up, beats the crap out of her, and then she goes, I'll tell you who I am later. And then Yu walks on screen and Hime goes, Are you Cure Honey? And she goes, yeah, I'm Cure Honey. It doesn't happen exactly like that, but basically... And those have been your Succinct Summaries!
It is so good to hear a beautiful succinct summary.
Very succinct. I did not stumble on my words at all.
You didn't. You were so succinct, and I didn't interrupt. So good job, team. Do you want to discuss Happiness Charge or Soaring Sky first?
Let's get to the Happiness Charge out of the way, since it's kind of like the entree, the appetizer.
All right. Plus, you said you didn't understand what was going on with Hime.
Okay.
The song was stuck in her head, and that's annoying.
Right.
So she didn't like it because it was like, why is this song so stuck in my head? But then she liked it because it won.
Well, I know. So it was a good song, and I think that she liked it enough that it was stuck in her head. But then when other people sang it, she got mad. And then they're like, do you hate the song? And she goes, no, I don't hate the song. And then at the end of the episode, she goes, hey, guess what? I don't hate the song. I know, Hime. You said that at the beginning of the episode. I'm very confused. Maybe that's just how they chose to translate it. Maybe Hime is like a moody cat, just different moods at any given point in time.
We already know that is correct about Hime. Yeah.
Also, we found out that God goes on business trips, apparently.
Joel just yelled top of his lungs, why would God go on a business trip? Apparently he's inspiring the other Precure around the world.
Yes, absolutely. I also think that it's just very convenient because if they had been like, hey, is Yu Cure Honey? And he'd said yes, Yu would have felt betrayed. So this is an easy way for them to not know for another episode.
Yes, and also Hime was like, I guess the song is fine. And Yu goes, I'm so happy to hear you finally say that you like the song I wrote. And there's a moment where both girls are like,
the song
you wrote? I'm Cure Honey. Oh! So I wasn't expecting her to just come right out and say it, but good for her,
I'm still okay, so we now know officially that Yu is Cure Honey, and it could not have been more obvious. The girl who likes to give honey to all characters became Cure Honey. Same hair color, constantly around the Precure. But anyways, we now know who she is, but we don't know why she is. So I'm interested in watching the next episode if we can fit it in between all of the Black Clover, One Piece, Mashal, and Gundam that we'll be watching.
I have a theory.
Yes.
Blue told Hime, go out and make a friend. And she came back with Megumi and went, look what I got! And he went, now there's 2 of them. Now there are 2 idiots. This is not good. I need a normal one. So he went out and he got Yu himself because she's got a job, she's stable, she's loving, she can do it. She hold things
in
down.
Traditional godlike values.
Oh.
Megumi doesn't fear God. Megumi will do anything.
Megumi doesn't fear God is a great tagline for this episode. Maybe even this podcast.
You know who truly did not fear God, though? Mana. I believe Mana and Rika Mana and Alice together did not fear God.
I don't even think it's that they didn't fear God. I think it's that they didn't know fear.
Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because, yeah.
Anyways, not to get too horny on Maine, but I will say Hoshiwa is super adorable. She had her own arc this episode was she wanted to be a singer, but she was jealous that Honey was a better singer or whatever. But her outfit was really good, and all of the semi-bads or kind of bads, I think they're called, they were all wearing those like the #1 fan outfits that you see in anime, and they were like waving glow sticks.
I was really worried with the way you started that because Megumi got an Idol outfit as well, and I was like, what? But no, you're not being weird.
Honestly, I didn't really love Megumi's Idol outfit.
No, Megumi's Idol outfit was just fine, but her tummy was out. Put that away. You are influencing the children.
I mean, just look a couple more seasons later and you get 2 of the Maho girls have tummies out in one of their transform
Tummies
states,
out, and then they kiss in the manga.
It's a slippery slope.
Toei?
Happy Pride, everyone.
Happy Pride. Oh, yeah, it's Pride Month. That's cool. Trans rights in the chat. Am I right?
Absolutely. You know, it sounds like you're being sarcastic, but we do truly believe in trans rights on this podcast.
Would not say it if we weren't in favor of it.
That's true. That's true.
Did you have any moments you particularly liked from this episode?
I think I've already called out all of the episodes. I did like that, the animation, because apparently Cure Honey has a baton that can have different effects, and one of the effects is teleportation, but it kind of reminded me of, like, you know, second grader out in the play school making up his own powers kind of a vibe, you know? It kind of felt like she was like, teleport! And then she was like, unteleport!
You know what it reminded me of?
What's that?
It reminded me of when you're like a kid in the computer lab and you discover animation effects in PowerPoint for the first time.
Oh, yes.
So you're like making your character slide across the PowerPoint.
Absolutely.
She did this weird fade in thing. But no, it was a cute episode. It's a good episode. Cure Honey's song continues to be incredible.
Yes, 100%.
I can see why AU sings it at karaoke every time.
We should do an edit of the Invader Zim movie where instead of the Rice's or the Peace is Nice song, it's Cure Honey's song.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Or vice versa, right? We have
true.
Cure Honey screaming Cure's Peace is Nice. I think we can move on to Soaring Sky.
Yes.
I love Agaha so much.
Agaha is so good. Do you want to talk about this episode or do you want to talk about all of the other fluff?
Was there anything from the fluff that you wanted to specifically call out?
I saw someone who was upset on Twitter because... So in the episode where Kabaton dueled Sora, he basically knew that whoever the bad guy is, we don't have a name for like the Empress or the leader of the Underground Empire, but he knew that he was going to be killed if he could not defeat Sora. So he challenges her to a one-on-one fight. She beats him, and then like as he's looking up, like a hole or something opens up, like something warns him that he's going to die. And then Sora jumps in and saves him. And I saw someone on Twitter being like, why do we need to have these villains be redeemed? Why do we need to have a villain who needs to be saved? Why can't he just be a villain? And the answer for Soaring Sky, and I need everyone to listen very carefully, that's not what heroes do. So, like, obviously Sora was going to protect him, even if he was a piece of shit, which he isn't. He's a bully and he's a dork, but he's not, like, evil. And so, like, yeah, of course she saved him. Like, that's what a hero does.
Well, and the most I can remember a Precure, like, going out of their way to hurt a bad guy was in Healin' Good
with
when
Grace
Cure
and
Grace
or whatever.
Yeah, when she's like, no, you can't hide from getting attacked by living inside my body.
And even that was the Batman, I don't have to be the one to kill you sort of logic. It wasn't like, I'm going to like punch you so hard that your head bleeds or whatever.
Yeah, like Precure historically is about girls trying to be heroes.
Yeah.
So I don't think that it makes sense in this series for every villain to be irredeemably evil. Some of them, for sure, and you can have those moments where it's like, I'm gonna save you, and they're like, I won't let you save me, I'm too proud, and then they die.
Also, if that was episode, I don't know, let's say it was episode 13, you had 12 episodes leading up to that where basically you got hints that Kabaton was probably kind of forced into this life. He was probably raised by a group of people that are like, strength is everything, and if you can't follow through, we're gonna punch you or whatever. And so like that warped his mind. If Soaring Sky had just been, here's some evil villains who are just comically evil and they show no humanity whatsoever, then like, yeah, let them eat each other, so to speak, and you don't have to save them. But the way that this series is written, Duh.
Speaking of terrible villain, terrible little goblin just dropped. His name is Battemonda.
Battemonda, yeah.
And he's such a B-word. I love him, I think.
Okay, how would you describe his personality?
Okay, so have you ever dunked a cat in a bathtub and then tossed it at a person?
No. What?
Well, no, neither have I. But he's the wet cat in this situation.
Okay. I find him kind of despicable in a way that Kabaton wasn't. Kabaton was a smelly fart man, so that's gross. But this guy, he's always talking about like, oh, I pity the weak. Oh, those weak people. Oh, but he's actually just an asshole who likes picking on weak people. So like...
He wants to be the most impressive. So, like, Kabaton wanted to be the strongest. This guy wants to be not the strongest exactly, but the coolest, the best. And so he finds excuses to pick on people that he thinks are weaker than him so that he can say, like, I didn't want to do this, but aren't I amazing for doing it? So, no, he's absolutely dreadful. I definitely don't think that Sora's I'm going to save you thing is going to work on him because I can't imagine him accepting it.
You know who I kind of ship him with unironically?
Kabaton.
Agaha's metal bat.
Yes, okay.
If you've seen One Piece, there's a character who shows up who has a giant club and he has an attack called Thunder Bagua. And I need that to be what Agaha does to this man in order to defeat him in the final episode. So, but anyways, how are you feeling about Tsubasa? He was relatively new to the cast last time we recorded.
He's a sweet little bean.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything particularly interesting about it. Like, let's set aside the fact that he's a male cure, right? If he were a female cure, I don't think anybody would be like, this cure stands out for this reason. I love him because he reminds me of Tails from Sonic the Hedgehog. I like that he's a little engineer boy. I like that he's very, like, easily frazzled. That's something I appreciate in a male sidekick kind of character.
Yeah.
But he's fine. He's not my favorite.
I'm going to say something, and you need to let me finish this sentence because of the way it might sound. Tsubasa is kind of like the Precure version of Wife Guy, but not wife. But it's the same kind of energy, right? It's the same energy that, what was his name? Commander Hughes from Full Metal Alchemist. Like, with Elle, he's just like, everything that I do revolves around this baby, and if this baby sneezes, I will consider committing seppuku, because, like, that's shame upon me for the baby having caught a cold or something.
It's my fault that the baby caught a cold. We gotta discuss the weird elephant in the room that is the fandom's shipping Tsubasa and Elle.
Okay.
And, like, I get it, okay? I do get it, because a lot of you probably read Twilight and saw that scene where, you know, he imprints on the baby, and you were like, so this is a normal thing. It's not that kind of relation. He's her older brother. Like, be normal about it.
Yes. Although I will say, going back to me saying, like, he feels like he's 6, you just need to age him down, like, 5 more years, and they would be age appropriate for each other.
Or age Elle up.
That's true.
Which is not unheard of with babies in this canon.
No, it absolutely isn't. That is... So, I will say, I don't really get... How do I say this? I think I understand where the impulse comes from, and especially since they're, like, fictional characters, you're not actually thinking of them as, like, as a 1-year-old and a 12-year-old or whatever, but, like, just think about that. Just think about that for a second, of, like, a middle schooler and then, like, a literal baby, and being like, oh, they're just so cute together because I want them to kiss? No, stop it. That's weird.
That's weird.
But Tsubasa's the least interesting character this season for me. I know a lot of people are really excited for him. I've been waiting for Agaha to just pick up the hero's call, and I really want to talk about that. But you mentioned Elle and babies aging up in this series. I think they're doing a great job of having Elle slowly develop as babies actually do in the real world.
Her her slowly learning to talk has been really fun.
Yes.
Like, every time she gets a new word, I'm like, oh, she said a new word, which is how you'd respond to, like, an actual baby.
Right, yeah, because, like, Chiffon didn't really age up, but, like, just kind of, like, got new magic powers, and then, what's-her-face, Kome, just, like, magically aged up, which is cool if you want to show growth in a really literal way, but this feels more natural. And when she said, like, love you to Agaha, I was like, oh my gosh, I normally don't like babies. I kick babies for fun, but that was cute.
You like do not kick babies for fun. You
I do it for profit.
Money.
Yes!
We did not plan that. We're just married.
Now, there's one episode in particular that I think you wanted to talk about. You were very impressed when it aired.
Was it the baton passing episode?
It was the baton passing episode.
That was such a good episode. Okay. Sora is very intense about activity and being a leader and being a hero. And so, like, when she's asked to lead the relay team because she's their best athlete, she's like, okay, I got to take this responsibility very seriously. And she gives a speech about how the most important part of the relay is the handing of the baton. So if she's going to be their final runner, she has to have the person she trusts most there to hand it to her, which is, of course, Mashiro. And they do this training montage, and then they do the actual race. And Mashiro trips and falls right as she's, like, getting ready to give Sora the baton.
Dark Souls, you died.gif.
Yeah, and, like, I don't know if you've ever fallen during a race, Joel, but I have, and I felt like they really well captured that moment of, like, how did I get from running to being on the ground?
It sucks. It feels like kind of like a sucker punch. Like, there's a moment where your brain's like, what is happening? What do we do now?
Right. And then she gets up, she runs to Sora, she gives Sora the baton, and Sora manages to get a win because Sora's amazing. And Mashiro feels so guilty that she almost ruined it for this person who said, you know, I trust you more than anything in the world, that she runs off. She can't accept any of the praise that people are giving her.
She actually cries, not on screen, but she cries.
Right, which is also very relatable content. Like, don't praise me. I didn't do it right. It doesn't matter if you think it was good enough. But Sora explains to her, you know, it's not really about the race. I just wanted to have fun with you. And their friendship is very beautiful, and I like it a lot.
And that same episode, when the bad guy inevitably showed up, they did a baton pass sort of thing where Mashiro gave Sora one of her energy balls, and then Sora ran with it, and that was pretty good. So I thought the episode was pretty good, but you were pretty, like, kind of jumping up and down in your seat to talk about it in the Discord, so I wanted to give it a shout out.
Well, and as I've said before on mic, and I didn't even come up with it, I got it from the Ivanhoe, but Precure is not really a superhero show. It's a slice of life show with superhero elements. And so I really appreciate it when we get these glimpses into the girls' lives and their bonds together, and I think it makes us care more about them as characters when we do have all the punchy and fighty stuff happening.
Absolutely. Now, we wanted this to be kind of a shorter episode, but we have like 8 episodes to cover. The one other thing that I will point out from all of these previous episodes we didn't go into depth on, at one point, I thought it would be interesting if Shalala was an evil villain, because we don't really see her face, which is something that a lot of anime does with villain characters. We don't know why she was in the evil forest where Sora was. Sora was like a baby, so of course she made a mistake, but like maybe Shalala was secretly in the evil forest because that's where she belongs. We don't know the identity of the leader of the Underground Empire, so I was all aboard that theory. And that could still be true, but with the episodes we had in Skyland, she seemed to legitimately care about Sora, legitimately care about the soldiers, and she legitimately sacrificed herself. She's not dead, but she's like in a coma or whatever. And so maybe that's all part of the cover. Maybe she needs to act like the best hero in the world so that she can get close enough to the king to assassinate him or steal his magical gem or whatever. But to me, it feels like they're going for a much more direct and honest, like, no, the heroes in our lives are great, amazing people. We should try to emulate them, and then we should try to pass that on to other people.
Oh, the baton passing.
Yeah, kind of like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will say I'm still on board with the theory. I think you're right that it's probably much less likely now, but I do like the idea of a dramatic, haha, I didn't actually die. This gave me the chance to like go do my evil plotting somewhere where I wouldn't get caught.
And on a thematic level, it would be interesting if Sora had to grapple with the idea that sometimes villains are people who pretend to be heroes, so she needs to know what it genuinely means to be a hero. And Talemon from our Discord pointed out that if Shalala ended up being a bad guy, Agaha being an older person and her color is pink, the way that past lead cures have been, she could become the new role model. And I kind of like that for the reasons that I just listed, but I kind of also don't like that because Sora's kind of the hero, and in most Precure seasons, or not the hero, the lead, and in most Precure seasons, the lead is the one who is the most thing, so it'd be weird if Agaha's like, I know more about heroing than you do. No, you don't.
Listen, Joel, sometimes you think you're the hero of ages, and then you grasp the power and you realize you're actually meant to pass it on to somebody else. Another relay.
Another type of relay. Not that you spoiled any particular series or anything. Maybe the twist is that there is no twist.
It's been out for long enough.
That's true. You should all read Mistborn, the first trilogy. What is it just called Mistborn Era 1? Okay.
I mean, the first book is called The Final Empire.
Right, but the trilogy itself...
It's just called Mistborn.
Okay. Read the Mistborn trilogy, and then when you're finished, go back and reread it, because it gets so much better on a second read. Anyway,
I feel like that's the best entrance to Brandon Sanderson's The Cosmere. Anyway.
Episode 18.
No, I had one more thought about what you were saying. I really like Telemon's point that Agaha being pink is kind of related to past lead cures being pink. Mm-hmm. Not because she is the lead, but because she's the oldest.
Yeah. Okay.
So I feel like the character designers did that on purpose. They gave her kind of that pink role as a nod to her experience. And
absolutely. You may know that I have a Twitter account that I used to post my drawings on. I no longer do because I am not sure about the leadership and AI art stuff, so I actually keep my art a little bit more private these days. But I tried to draw Butterfly the other day, and she has so many ruffles. I think she has 3 different, shirts that are half shirts that are different layers of ruffles at different angles.
Gotta fluffle them ruffles. Listen, when the tummy out, you need extra fabric. It's gotta go somewhere. That's the conservation of fabric rule.
Yeah, of course. Now, episode 18. You seem to already have been positive about it, but is there anything else you want to shout out?
I think that it did a really good job capturing kind of the mindset of children. So, first of all, young children switch, between who they're idolizing pretty quickly from day to day. Whatever's the most impressive in the moment is usually going to be kind of their thing. So the little boy going from, Tsubasa is the best to Tsubasa and Ageha are the best made sense to me. I thought it was really cute that we saw a little boy looking up to the male Precure because I felt like that was a very deliberate nod to, the actual children who watch the show. But I really appreciated that he punched somebody. And Ageha was like, we don't punch our friends, buddy? And he was like, the Precure punch bad guys. And then she was like, And so when she became a Precure, she purposefully fought in such a way that it was defensive, not, I'm going to punch you.
Yes, that is something worth mentioning. So Mashiro already had some shield abilities, but that is not her main role. She's the long-distance throw energy eggs at people character. But it would appear that Ageha will be this season's designated shield cure, and she creates a little butterfly crest, and I liked that.
It's very cool.
That's also how her final attack works. She has Butterfly Press, where she creates a giant butterfly, and then she kicks it from above so that it squashes your enemy.
Cool.
It was really neat. I love the way it's animated.
So cool. Also, quick shout out to the fact that her transformation has her little car in it.
Yes, in 2 different places in the background. It's blink and you miss it references, but if you know where to look, it's there.
Thank you for the screen grab, AU, because we missed it.
Yes, absolutely.
What about you?
I mean, Agaha has long been, she showed up in one of the earlier episodes, and even without Precure power, she's like, I just need a bat. And heck yes. It's a shame that the bat was not her transformation item, but maybe that'll be her mid-season power-up.
They all get bats. Stop her. She's got a bat. You idiot. We've all got bats.
Love that. And then... no, never mind. I was about to say, because both of the undergroup people have been animals, but that's not true. This new guy just seems to be a teenager, a Hot Topic creature. But
oh my god, he is a Hot Topic Malgoth. God, no wonder he's so insufferable. That was me in middle school, so he and I have a lot to talk about.
I see. But anyways, if they all get baseball bats, then they could be fighting a general who is himself a bat at that point, just to complete the comparison. But no, Agaha was great. I love that she just willed her powers. I think I've already sung all of the praises for this episode that I wanted to.
Do you like her costume?
Yeah, I think it's all right.
I think she is... we're doing the Precure Awards still, and I want to nominate Sora and Mashiro post-relay race for cutest moment.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just had to throw that out there. I think Agaha's costume is a serious contender for best visual.
I like it a lot.
It's pink. It's hard to go wrong with pink.
Hard to go wrong with pink. I really like the kind of skirt floofs that she has. I like the hair ornament with like it's a flower and then there's a butterfly on top of it. But yeah, no. Here's the thing. It has been too long since I've seen this episode. I rewatched it like 2 days ago, and I've already forgotten exactly like all of the details. But heck yeah. It's very good. Catherine just pulled up a picture for me. So, yeah, I like it a lot.
I want to know why Precure does the thing where they've got one sock that's long and one sock that's not. They seem to do that a lot.
Yes. Well, here's something interesting. In Star Twinkle, Lala and Hikaru could not have been more shippable if they had wanted to. And they had one long leg that were opposites of each other. So one had right and the other one had left. So it was kind of like a nod to that. And I'm pretty sure that with Tsubasa and Agaha, they have that same thing going on. Except, again, I don't think that shipping because of the age differences. If you wanted to really do an age difference, it would be Agaha XL. that's the ship that's just like, what the heck? But they are definitely complementary pairs the same way that Sora and Mashiro are. So I think that their legs are mirrors of each other as well.
Absolutely. And I've heard that asymmetry in character design can be helpful, especially in like the character's silhouette, because it makes it easier to pick them out of a lineup. But if it's their socks, you can't see that in a silhouette. The socks.
Yeah. As someone who plays Minecraft and as someone who makes everything almost always symmetrical, I don't know if I agree, but I am weird. I'm sure that if I did an asymmetrical build in Minecraft, I'd be like, this is actually kind of nice.
Here's the thing. I don't like asymmetry in architecture, but when you are specifically talking about character design, the way your brain remembers, like, people is based kind of on their outline and their silhouette. So if your drawing doesn't have a clear silhouette, then it makes it harder for that to stick in a person's
I get that.
mind.
That's character design. That's why Team Fortress 2 is so highly praised, because each of the characters have a unique outline. I'm just mostly agreeing with you that I don't think that the sock is the thing to go asymmetrical on. You can give them like a cape off of the left shoulder or something, and that'd be much more distinct.
Right, or her skirt has the butterfly on the right, I think.
Her right or our right?
Her right. That's her right.
Yes, her right.
Yeah, it's got a little butterfly poof on the right on her skirt. So, I like that. That's cool.
Okay.
Anything else you wanted to say about this episode before we move on to thoughts from the crew? What did we call it?
Calls to Adventure.
That's right. You're so handsome.
And I don't think that we have any, because I think that this episode was kind of a surprise to our Discord followers.
That is true. However, they have put a lot of thoughts in the Discord, so I will look and see if any.
Okay, selected the best ones.
Exactly, yeah. Fight to the death, Discord fans. Oh, you know what? I did want to call out James, that one welder guy, said that he was super glad we got him into Precure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate how much you seem to like this show now, because when we met, I was like, really girly romance show, and you were like, no thank you, for girls. And you seem to have very much changed your tune on that.
It still depends, because Fruits Basket was not my cup of tea. Like, I watched it. I liked, what's her name? The Yakuza best friend.
Was it not your cup of tea because you didn't like the plot, or because it made you sad? I can't remember.
Both. But Full Moon wo Sagashite, I'll probably watch that one more time before I'm dead. I won't rewatch it 8 more times, but one more.
Everybody should watch Full Moon wo Sagashite. It is my favorite anime of all time, and it gives me many emotions.
Last time I checked, every episode was on YouTube, so you can look for that. But anyways, Thank you for joining us. I'm sorry that we kind of went away for a while. We're going to be moving shortly, and so I don't know how much energy we're going to have for podcasting, but my plan is to try to get out a little bit of some video in some shape or form somewhat regularly. I would love to do more kind of book or movie review type things, or my thoughts on specific movies. I have, some cooking in the back of my brain for Breath of the Wild and the new Spider-Verse movie. We obviously want to continue watching Precure. The One Piece, the King of the What Now episodes are now on YouTube, being released one episode a day, and we're up through the Alabasta saga, if you know anything about the One Piece, whatever. So I hope to give you more stuff, but it depends on our lives.
I think one of these days we're going to get back to podcasting regularly. I certainly would like to finish King of the What Now. But yeah, we're trying to take it a little more casually, not have things run our lives, and you get content when you get it, and I hope you're pleased with it when it comes.
Absolutely.
And that has been your
Final Thought. Outro goes here.
Thanks for listening, everyone, and don't forget to pet your dogs.
Also, don't forget, you're never too old to be Precure.
I'm 57.
You are not, you liar.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Podcast Time here at Cure of the What Now. Please remember to take a moment to rate and review us wherever you get your podcast from. If you want to chat more, you can find me at Pirate Ghost Host on Twitter.
And you can find me at KOTWN_pod. The link to our Discord is in my bio. You can join us for streams, games, and weekly discussions. Bye!
Stay heroic!